Shalom, 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 shalom. Welcome to my live feed, to my live feed. I'm gonna wait for people to come on. Boom. Right now, I'm literally looking to my right and I'm seeing all these old scriptures. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, akwaf. And I'm going to give the story that you already heard, but I'm going to give the story. Well, it's not a story, but the incident that occurred yesterday and the demon possessed woman that I encountered out of nowhere, and why I felt so moved to give this word. I'm going to wait for more people to come on. My husband's crawling on the floor. You gonna say hi? They want to say hi. Say hi. Say hi. That's the hubs.
Love you.
Love you too. So we're waiting. And while we're waiting, look at this, guys. I have a sister of mine gave me this. Look at that. The 1560 Geneva. But before that was the 1537 Matthew Tinsdale edition. And I want to show you something. In this one, it was preserved while everybody's sitting and waiting for everybody to come on. It was preserved. Hold on. And it's in Old English. Okay. Give me a minute. I love it too. All right. Genesis. And it's so crazy because Exodus is read in this book as erodus. Erodus. Isn't that crazy? And I want to show something to y'all. About 600 years now, we've had the letter J introduced, and it was from a pope who was just messing around. And hold on, you're not feeling very well? Oh, absolutely. Just know that you are loved and that our Creator, whose breath is inside of you, loves you so much. And that this world is very heavy right now. And we have one another to encourage one another. Know that you're not alone, because I've been feeling heavy, haven't been feeling very well myself. Many of us are actually feeling like this. It is very, 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 hey, brother, it is very good evening where I'm at. So good morning where you're at. So just know, GG, I don't know your name, but just know that we are all praying for you and making sure that you're going to be filled up through this word right now. From India, hallelujah, halawaya, welcome. And so, from the very depths of my heart, an outpouring of love for you during this heavy time, and know that you're not alone. You're just not alone. Okay? You're not going through this alone. There's 23 of us on here right now going through this with you. You are not alone. Can everybody do a shout out to Gigi and let him know that he or she is not alone and that they are loved, and the Most High obviously wanted you here on this feed. This is no accident that you're here, right? Somebody's message was held for review. Oh. So in the 1537 Matthew Tinsdale Bible, check that out. Obviously, this isn't the original. Thank you all for encouraging our brothers and our sisters. We need one another right now. We need more. Check this out. We need one another more right now, more than we need correction. Okay? Because it is so heavy. Though we do need to understand the true path and stay on that and be righteous and stay in Father. But Father is love in the end. And if we don't have one another in love, what do we have? Yes, we have Father. Father will never leave us. But we are here as a body, as Yahusha's body, to be, like to lift one another up and to pull one another from the cords of sin, obviously, right? So I think we're entering into, many say that we're in it, but I think, am I screaming? If I am, please let me know. I'm Italian, so I get really loud. I think it starts in 2025. That's my thoughts. Anyone else have any thoughts? So, hello. So I don't know if you guys can see this, and I don't know how to screen share. I don't know how to do any of that. So I'm still learning. Brother Tony is going to teach me, right, Brother Tony? So let me get this close. Hold on, guys. This is Exodus. Hold on. Let me find it. This is the Father's name preserved. And I just dropped the Geneva Bible. I hope you guys can see that. It starts with a J, but like I said, the J hook came in about 600 years ago. It was an accident. It says Jahuah. It says Jahuah in there. And that message retracted. Abigail Carpenter. I don't know why it was retracted, because you didn't say anything wrong. I don't know what's going on. But when I was having trouble with trying to figure out the name, and those were gifted to me by a sister who is now in Puerto Rico, I stumbled across that and I was like, oh, they didn't take his name out. And then a couple months later, she sends me this one, the Geneva. Now, this is when the Queen took over, okay? All right? So, you have Genesis as Genesis. It's very confusing. Exodus is Exodus. Man, and this is hard. So now all of a sudden, the verbiage went from his name to Lord. I don't know if you guys can see that, and you probably can't see that. But there's Lord written in there. They took out his name. They wanted his name a secret. And everyone needs to understand that. It's not Lord. It's not God. It's not these other titles. He has a name. Okay? And it's been tightly preserved. Now, in the 1537, they were going by the Ivrit, which would be Yahuwah with a U. Now, before that, yes, they absolutely changed it. Before that is the pictograph, right? So that was before the Babylonian siege in 596 BC, when they were taken off for 70 years. Babylon, King Nimrod, you know all of that. That's written down in Daniel, right? So it's also written in Kings. But what you need to understand is before they came, before they came back, there was no vowel points. And when they came back, everything was burned. They had to write everything back. They had to write all the scrolls over again, and they inserted vowel points. That's where the U comes in. So it went from these things. And so how it was said in the pictograph is Yah, Ha, Wah. And it's actually very beautiful. Halawaya. And so the queen, we don't like the queen. No, just kidding. She wasn't very nice. All right, the story, and then I'll get on to the reading. I have been trying to download the first video all day. It won't let me, and I know it's a demonic attack. I know it is. It's spiritual. What we're going through right now is so spiritual, and it's so real, and I'm going to explain to you what happened to me. Yesterday, my dad called me. He needed a mop head. I said, sure, Dad. Being the good daughter that I'm trying and striving to be, because that's part of our commandments, to love your mother and your father and honor them. I said, okay, I'll go do this, right? Everything's going great. And I'm just like chugging along with a big smile on my face, even though it's Christmas all over the place, but it's okay. I hope you're having a blessed day too. I am. Today's been a lot of snow, but good. So I get to the aisle where the mop heads are. I was not prepared for this, y'all. This is why we need to be fasting and praying often, okay? Because this is what happened to me. I'm with my children, mind you, and I was not prepared for this. And we always have to be spiritually ready. Ephesians chapter 6, putting on the full armor, right? And what is the sword of the Ruach? The sword of the Ruach is your Torah, is the word, okay? And so this should be in your heart, which it is, right? The prophecy is that it would be placed upon our hearts, right? And this is why we need to be born from above. So this can just grow out of us and grow into something good, the good fruit, okay? This is what our Messiah was talking about. You will know them by their fruits, right? I don't even know where to begin. I'm going down the aisle, and there was a Spanish woman, and she puts her leg, right? I don't even know how she did this, but she did it. She put her leg back like this, like all the way up, like so far up. She could have like touched her head, and she kicked my cart. She was in front of me, into me. And she said, I know what you're doing. And I said, ma'am. And I stopped and I like pulled my children back. Like I had them like this. And I said, I'm not sure what you're talking about. She's like, are you going to leave? And I was like, no, I'm here to get mops. Like I'm getting a mop head. That's all I'm trying to do, you know? And she's like, you all say the same thing. And I said, okay. And quickly I started realizing that either she had some serious mental problems, she's just having a bad day, or she was abused, something, right? But what made me realize, and actually a Sister Cassandra made me realize, was when when this woman said to me, I know you. And she got close. She was like, I know you. And she was shaking. Her body was shaking. She's like, I know you. And I know you're kind. And I know what you're going to do. And I was like, okay. Now, mind you, I'm from a medical background. I'm not anymore. I'm retired from that. Like long before COVID even happened. I understand medical psychoses. I understand how to deal with them. But this was different. She knew who I was. And she was trying to get like from the front of me to around me. And she was shaking. And she was like, I know who you are. Like it was so intense. And she got so close to me And I looked at her and I saw nothing but darkness. It was full darkness. And it happened so fast. And there was another man there, actually, that arrived. And he was very, very, very tall. Very tall. I noticed him right away. And he had blonde hair. And she was definitely manifesting. She was. And this is why I'm bringing this on, because I failed. Okay? I'm bringing this as a failure. Not a failure, but I could have done better. It happened so fast. You see, the scripture is very clear that darkness has cannot be near light, right? And light can't be near darkness. The light will always outshine the darkness, no matter what. It'll make them tremble. See, the demons believe in Yahusha, and they tremble with fear, right? And so they know that he's real. They know what he's going to do. Yes. And she is being tormented, and it was so sad. And the thing is, y'all, is that I should have, and I was capable of casting that demon out of her, asking Father to help me. But unfortunately, I didn't think like that at the time. I was worried about my children. I didn't know she had a weapon. I didn't know what she was going to do next. And it was the strangest thing, because when she finally got around me and she was walking, the man looked at me and she's like, "Don't you get him involved. It's all you. And I know it's you." And the man was like, "Are you okay, ma'am?" to me. And I said, "Yeah." I was so shocked. I didn't even know what was going on. And here's the amazing part. That man we couldn't find. That man disappeared. When I was a little girl, and it's in my testimony video, when I was a little girl, my parents forgot to pick me up at school. And this is deep, okay? I knew that I couldn't walk with a stranger. I heard all about it. You know, we all do from our parents. And but I was young. It's like, where were they? They totally forgotten about me. So I was scared. So right next to the school was a library. So I went to the library, and I remember like going to open that door, and out pops this man. And he had blonde hair and he was tall. And it didn't dawn on me until later, when I was talking to sister Laura. And after that, I then realized that I think this was the same, maybe Malachim, or angel. In the Hebrew tongue, it's Malachim, but you may know them as angels. It's kind of a derogatory term because they're messengers, Malachim. So when he had come out, he said, "I'll take you home." And I knew this man, Yirmiyahu 51. I knew this man, and I knew him well. And I'm going to read it from the Sefer. And never met him before in my life, y'all, but I knew him. If you know what I mean, if you get my drift. We do. And that's what I was trying to say, is that this woman wanted to hurt me, but she was scared to come near me. She couldn't come near me. Okay. I'm going to read it. It's long, but I'm going to read it. Yirmiyahu. And Yirmiyahu is Ivrit or Hebrew for Jeremiah. So this man, I believe, was the same man that was there when I was a little girl. He manifested again. He was there. And when you read the messengers of the Most High, they each have a purpose. They each have a goal. And could that have been Ramiel? I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that I couldn't find him. Okay? And he stayed there to make sure I was okay until that woman left. And he was gone. And we tried searching for him because the manager was trying to find him as another witness, and he was nowhere to be found. And that's what it was when I was a child. He dropped me off at home, and he was nowhere to be found. My parents were trying to look for him, and he was nowhere to be found. And my parents came flying out that door when they saw me enter, like, the gate of the house. We lived in an apartment building. And then they ran out, and they didn't see anyone. But I did. I did. I was going to read Hanok. So that's my experience. And I had a deep, deep feeling that we all need to be on guard even more so now. We need to be fasting more, praying more. If you're already praying a lot, pray more. And when I read Hanok to you, you're going to understand why we should be reading, why we should be praying right now, especially because of the enemies that are against us, those who mock us, those who persecute us. You're going to see when I read Hanok to you. So Yirmiyahu 51, thus says Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babel and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind, and will send unto Babel fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of evil they shall be against her round about. Against him that bends, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifts himself up in his brigandine, I don't know if I'm saying that right, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly in all of her host. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Kasdim, and they are thrust through in her streets. For Yasharal has not been forsaken, nor Yahweh of the Elohim, Yahweh Sebaoth of spirits. Though their land was filled with sin against the Kodash one, the Holy One of Yasharal, Israel, flee out of the midst of Babel, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. Get out of her, my people. For this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. Yes, he will render unto her a recompense. Absolutely. Babel has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. Does it sound familiar? Revelations. That made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Babel is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We should have healed Babel, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go, everyone, into his own country. For her judgment reaches up to the Shamayim, up to heaven, and is lifted up to the skies. Yahweh has brought forth our righteousness. Come, let us declare in Zion, the work of Yahweh Eloheinu. make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh has raised up the Ruach of the king of Madai, for his device is against Babel to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his Hakal temple. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babel. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For Yahweh has both devised and done that which he spoke against the inhabitants of Babel. O you that dwell upon many waters, abundant in treasures, your end is come, and the measure of your covetousness. Yahweh Sebaoth has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill you with men, as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against you. He has made the earth the arets by his power, for he has established the world by his wisdom, and has stretched out the Shamayim, the heavens, by his understanding. When he utters his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the Shamayim, in the heaven, and he shall cause the vapors to ascend from the ends of the arets, the earth. He makes lightnings with rain, and he brings forth the wind out of the treasuries. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by graven image. For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. Hallelujah. They are vanity, the work of errors. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. The portion of Jacob, is not like them, for he is the former of all things. And Yasharal, Israel, is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh Sebaoth is his name. You are my battle axe and weapons of war. For with you will I break in pieces the nations, and with you will I destroy kingdoms. And with you will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with you will I break in pieces the chariot and its rider. With you also will I break in pieces men and women, and with you will I break in pieces old and young, and with you will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I will also break in pieces with you the shepherd and his flock. And with you will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with you will I break into pieces captains and rulers, and I will render unto Babel and to all the inhabitants of the Castema all their evil that they have done in Zion, in your sight, says Yahweh. Behold, I am against you, O destroying mountain, says Yahweh, which destroy all the arets, the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon you and roll you down from the rocks, and will make you a burnt mountain. And they shall not take of you a stone for a corner, nor a stone for the foundations, but you shall be desolate forever, says Yahweh. Set up ye a standard in the land, and blow the shofar among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Call against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini and Ashkenaz. Anyone that follows my channel, you know I'm going to stop there and say that. Who is Ashkenaz? Bereshit chapter 9 and chapter 10. Noach's 3 sons. Hem, Shem, and Japheth. Shem was the only one that received the promise. Ham looked upon his father naked, and he was cursed. The land Canaan was cursed. Japheth will dwell in the tents of Shem as a curse. Japheth's son is Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz is the nations, because that's the giving of the nations is what it says is Ashkenaz. Shem is the giving of the promise of the land, Canaan. But because of what Ham did, those who are in the land are not the chosen seed. They have stolen that land. They have encaged the Palestinian people who are a part, and yes, they are a part of Father's seed, because they wouldn't sell their land. They were farmers, the Palestinian people, the Gaza Strip. They were farmers, and they refused to sell their land. They had ties in that land. They've had years and years and decades, hundreds of years in that land. It was their land. Their hands were in that soil. Their ancestors were in that soil. Yehuda and Benjamin went down to Africa. They went over and down to Africa. And you can see that in the 1700s map. They were not African, they were Hebrew, but they are darker skinned. That may offend a lot of people, but that is the truth. The truth offends. And I'm happy to offend you with love, because now there's a seed in you that's going to make you look. They're not allowed to take a blood test in that land. Ask yourself why. And many that have dual citizenship that are here in America, the Israeli people, they have taken, and you can YouTube this, they have live videos of this. They have shorts. They've made shorts, YouTube shorts of this, TikToks, and all kinds of things, showing you that their blood comes from the line of the Ashkenazi Jews, which is European, Poland, etc. There's a lot of Hebrew. You may know them as black people. Excuse me, but that's what you may know them as, or African American, which these aren't even their titles. They are Hebrew, y'all. They're Hebrew. And the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. They are fulfilled. We are there. People are waking up. People are seeing this. People are mad, and we should be mad. But this was the curse upon the Hebrews because they rejected the Mashiach. They were put on ships by the same people. The Khazarians sold them off to and put them on those ships and sent them all over the world, every corner. Deuteronomy 28, that's what it says. So I'm sorry I had to stop, because this is talking about that land right now. A lot of people want to say this is probably America, and I'm not saying we're not exempt, because we help them. We have so much blood on our hands in this America. It is disgusting. You gotta come out of her. Come into the fold. Wake up. Because what's coming is going to be horrible. But you need to know that you've been lied to. They are not the real set apart ones. They're not. They control your banking system, your food, your education system, your music. They control everything. They're in the government, and they're even your jurors. They are everything. They're everywhere. They're lawyers. They're everywhere. And they call you anti-Semitic if you call it out, but they're not of Shem. You got to be a Shemite to be anti-Shemitic. I hope you all are following along, and I hope this doesn't offend you, and I love you. And, you know, I love all people. But it is a downright shame what's happening to those Palestinians. And we've been lied to about all of everything you could possibly. The news lies to you. Wake up. Wake up. Benjamin Netanyahu, which isn't even his name. Look up his real name. Look it up. It's Polish. Benjamin Kimlowski or something like that. That's his real name. He's Polish. They dug up a ring during an archaeological dig in the 20s. And his father, I'm sorry, in the 40s. It was either 20s or the 40s. Anyways, his father saw that they had dug up Netanyahu, and he adopted that name because it's a name that has been since the beginning, and it follows and follows and follows and follows. And they wanted that name because they are what? Zionists. They control everything, and that's what Trump is doing, controlling it. He is a Zionist. He is after anyone who believes, and I'm guaranteeing you this, people are putting their faith in man, but they're going to eat the flesh of their arm. That's also Jeremiah. We need to wake up. The enemy has now infiltrated and is now going to sit on the seat. Father has obviously allowed it because nothing can go through his hands that he doesn't allow. He's allowing it because the time has come. The time has come, you guys. And no matter what happens to us, they can't take our nefesh, our soul. They can't. They can't. Let's finish. Appoint a captain against her. Against who? The Ashkenaz. I told you a little history. Read the 13th tribe. Written by a Khazarian Jew. He tells you about the Africans, about the Palestinian people being the true bloodline. It's right here. I'm surprised they didn't kill him. He died of old age. This is old. He wrote it a long time ago. It's time to wake up. There isn't 13 tribes. There's only 12. And what made me even get this book was that I have a neighbor. His father was at our house, and he showed me his charm. And he's like, I'm with the 13th tribe. I'm like, what? See how Father uses everything to waken you up? And I said, but there's 12. And he's like, no, there's 13. I was like, I don't think so. There was 12, you know. Jacob had 12. He's like, no, look. So I did. And then I stumbled across this. I couldn't believe my eyes. Everything I ever thought of the people over there was a lie. And it was right in plain sight. And that's how satanic worship works. They put everything in plain sight. The Freemasons, everything is in your sight. Right before your eyes. Ask Father to give it to you. Ask Father to show you. I gotta find my spot. Sorry. I get carried away. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of Madai, the captains thereof, and the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion, and the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babel, to make the land of Babel a desolation without an inhabitant. The mighty men of Babel have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might has failed. They became as woman. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babel that his city is taken at one end. And at the passages are stopped, and the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war are frightened. For thus says Yahweh Sebaoth of the Elohai of Yasharal, the daughter of Babel is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. Nebuchadnezzar The king of Babel has devoured me. He has crushed me. He has made me an empty vessel. He has swallowed me up like a dragon, and he has filled his belly with the delicates that has cast me out. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babel. Shall the inhabitant of Zion say, and my blood upon the inhabitants of the Casadima, shall Yerushalayim say. Therefore, Jerusalem, therefore, thus says Yahweh, behold, I will plead your case and take vengeance for you, and I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. And Babel shall become heaps and dwelling places for dragons, an astonishment and a hissing without an inhabitant. They shall roar together like lions, they shall yell as lioness whelps. In their heat I will make their feasts, and I will make their drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, says Yahweh. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with goats. How is Sheshach taken? And how is the praise of the whole earth surprised? How is Babel become an astonishment among the nations? The sea is come up upon Babel. She is covered with the multitude of waves thereof. Her cities are a desolation, a dry land and a wilderness, a land wherein no man dwells. Neither does any man of Adam, pass thereby. And I will punish Babel in Babel, and I will bring forth out of her mouth that which she has swallowed up, or he has swallowed up. And the nations shall not flow together any more unto him. Yea, the wall of Babel shall fall. My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of Yahweh. And lest your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that, in another year, shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon graven images. How much does America have graven images, y'all? It's religions. If they don't have the wooden cross, they have a fish. If they don't have the fish, they have Mary. They call Mother Mary statue that they decorate, carry around, and bake cakes to her. They take a Eucharist to her, which is so idolatrous, paganistic. You're partaking the blood. You're literally passing your children through the fire when you have them in these establishments. You need to come out of her, my people. S-U-N, sun worship. And it's like that even on the Torah end. There's moon worship. There's one thin path, and it's very narrow. I have hair on my face somewhere. I can't find it. Sorry. And her whole land shall be confounded, and her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Then the Shamayins, the heavens and the earth, and all that is therein, shall sing for Babel, for the spoilers shall come unto her, the north, says Yahweh. As Babel has caused the slain of Yasharal to fall, so at Babel shall fall the slain of all the earth. Ye that have escaped the sword, go away and stand not still. Remember Yahweh afar off. And let Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, come into your mind. We are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame has covered our faces, for strangers are come into the sanctuaries of Yahweh's house. This is going on in the religious establishments. They aren't teaching the truth. They're not teaching the Torah. They're not teaching the Ten Commandments. They're not teaching you to keep the feast days. It's spiritual. We must be born from above and from water. Are you hearing this? Because I have never really heard this. What I've heard is that you need to be immersed, which they use the word baptized, which is very, very, very not good, the word baptism. We are immersed. That's the word. That's a proper word. Mitzvah. Yahweh, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all of her land the wounded shall groan. Though Babel shall mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, says Yahweh. A sound of a cry comes from Babel, and great destruction from the land of the Kasdim, because Yahweh has spoiled Babel and destroyed out of her the great voice. When her waves do roar like great waters, a noise of their voice is uttered, because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babel, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken, for Yahweh all of recompenses shall surely requite. And I will make drunk her princes, and her wise men, and her captains, and her rulers, and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not awaken, says the King, whose name is Yahweh Sebaoth. Thus says Yahweh Sebaoth, the broad walls of Babel shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. The word which Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah, the prophet, commanded Sarayahu, the son of Neriyahu, the son of Mehichayahu, when he went into Zedekiyahu, the king of Yehudah, Judah, into Babel in the 4th year of his reign. And this Sarayahu is a quiet prince. So Yirmiyahu wrote a sefer, all the evil that should come upon Babel, even all of these words that are written against Babel. And Yirmiyahu said to Sarayahu, when you come to Babel and shall see and shall read all of these words, then shall you say, oh, Yahweh, you have spoken against this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. And it shall be, when you have made an end of reading the sefer, that you shall bind a stone to it, cast it into the midst of Parath. And you shall say, thus shall Babel sink, and shall not rise from the evil. And I will bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far are the words of your Yirmiyahu. Anybody want to say anything? I don't speak fluent Hebrew. I can say a few things. So I'm going to read Hanok Enoch 92. Let me look at my... Okay, we're good. Want to make sure I have... Can someone say hi so I know that the chat is still working? Because it seems frozen. But in the meantime, I'm going to read Hanok 92. Thank you, Father, for your word. We know Hanok was written for a time afar off, which is us. And I thank you, Father, for putting this into my heart, for opening my eyes and allowing me to see truly the time even more so that we are in, and bringing this to my remembrance and showing it to me that this is for a time such as right now. Yeah, I don't know why, guys, but I can't get any of your... What? I did not mean to delete your message. I'm so sorry. I think I brought it back. I'm still trying to learn this. Well, I'm just going to keep reading. I don't know how to do it. I know Sister Laura, Sister Cassandra, Sister K-Mac, Brother Tony, You guys have my cell phone. Send me a message. If it's not working, let me know. And it didn't bring back I'm sorry, Andy Smith. I didn't mean to remove that from you. Messed that up. I'm so sorry. Well, I'm just going to keep going. Oh. Oh. And you know what? Maybe Father allowed this to freeze because a sister just told me there was somebody in the chat saying vile things. Let him. Because it's not working on my end, and I think, Father, perhaps this happened for a reason, so I can pay attention to what I need to do. And I thank you, Father, because I can't see any of the vile comments that are being made. And in the end, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Halal wa ya. Father's going to shine anyways. So here we go. Hanok, 19. That which was written by Hanok, he wrote all the instruction of wisdom for every man of dignity. Okay, Sister Laura. And every judge of the earth, for all my children who shall dwell upon the earth, and for the subsequent generations, conducting themselves uprightly and peacefully. Let not your Ruach spirit be grieved on account of the times, for the Kodash, holy, the Great One, has prescribed a period to all. Let the righteous man arise from his slumber. Let him arise and proceed in the path of righteousness and in all its paths. And let him advance in goodness, in eternal clemency. Mercy shall be shown to the righteous man. Upon him shall be conferred integrity and power forever. In goodness and in righteousness shall he exist, and shall walk in everlasting light. But sin shall perish in eternal darkness, nor be seen from that time forward forevermore. Okay. What I'm going to do is Cassandra, I added you as a moderator, so you can delete, block, you can do whatever if you feel like it, okay? And if anybody else feels up to it, go right ahead. But other than that, the last message I received was the Most High told me to give it to you by Aaron, the prophet from Israel. So, I'm sorry. After this, Hanok began to speak from a sefer, it's a scroll, a letter, the word. And Hanok said concerning the children of righteousness, concerning the elect of the world, and concerning the plant of righteousness and integrity. These things will I speak of, and will I explain to you, my children. I am Hanok, in consequence of that which has been shown to me from my heavenly vision, and from the voice of the watchers, and the Kodash ones, the holy ones. Have I acquired knowledge, and from the tablet of the Shammai in the heaven have I acquired understanding. Hanok then began to speak from a sefer and said, I have been born the 7th in the 1st week. He's Melchizedek, the 7th. While judgment and righteousness wait with patience. But after me in the 2nd week, great wickedness shall arise, and fraud shall spring forth. And in that week, the end of the first shall take place, in which man will be saved. But when it is completed, iniquity, sin, shall grow up, and shall he execute the decree upon sinners. Afterwards, in the third week, during its completion, a man of the plant of righteous judgment shall be selected, and after him the plant of righteousness shall come forever. Subsequently, in the fourth week, during its completion, the visions of the holy and righteous shall be seen. The order of generation after generation, and the habitation shall be made for them. Then in the fifth week, during its completion, the house of glory and of dominion shall be erected forever. After that, in the sixth week, all of those who are in it shall be darkened. The hearts of all of them shall be forgetful of wisdom. And in it shall a man arise and come forth. And during the completion, he shall burn the house of dominion with fire, and all the race of the elect root shall be dispersed. Deuteronomy 28, Davrim 28, your Hebrews. Afterwards, in the seventh week, a perverse generation shall arise. Abundant shall be its deeds, and all the deeds perverse. During its completion, the righteous shall be selected from the everlasting plant of righteousness, and to them shall be given a sevenfold doctrine of his whole creation. Halawaya. Afterwards, there shall be another week, the eighth, of righteousness, to which shall be given a sword to execute judgment and justice upon all oppressors. Sinners shall be delivered up into the hands of the righteous, who, during its completion, shall acquire habitations by their righteousness, and the house of the great king shall be established for celebrations forever. That's the feasts. After this, in the ninth week, shall the judgment of the righteous be revealed to the whole world. Every work of the wicked shall disappear from the whole earth. The world shall be marked for destruction, and all men shall be on the watch for the path of integrity. And after this, on the seventh day of the 10th week, there shall be an everlasting judgment which shall be executed upon the watchers. And the spacious eternal heaven shall spring forth in the midst of the angels, the Malachim. The former heaven shall depart, pass away. A renewed heaven shall appear, and all the celestial powers shine with sevenfold splendor forever. Afterwards, likewise, shall there be many weeks, which shall externally exist in goodness and in righteousness. Neither shall sin be named there forever and ever. Who is there of all the children of men capable of hearing the voice of the Holy One without emotion? I know I cry. Who is there capable of thinking his thoughts? Who is capable of contemplating all the workmanship of the heaven? Who of comprehending the deeds of heaven? He may behold its animation, but not its ruach, not his spirit. He may be capable of conversing, but not of ascending. He may also see all the boundaries of these things, and meditate upon them, but he cannot make nothing like them. Who of all the men is able to understand the breadth and the length of the earth? And by whom have been seen the dimensions of all these things? Is it every man who is capable of comprehending the extent of the Shamayim of the heavens? What its elevation is, and by what is supported? How many are the numbers of the stars? And where are the luminaries remain at rest? Can you answer any of those questions? Are you worthy? And now, let me exhort you, my children, to love righteousness and walk therein in it. For the cycles of righteousness are worthy of acceptation, but the paths of iniquity shall suddenly fail and be diminished. To men of note in their generation, the paths of oppression and death are revealed, but they keep far from them and do not follow them. Now, 2, let me exhort you, righteous, not to walk in the paths of evil and oppression, nor in the paths of death. Approach them not, that you may not perish, but covet. And choose for yourselves righteousness and a good life. Walk in the paths of shalom, peace, that you may live and be found worthy. Retain my words in your inmost thoughts, and obliterate them not from your hearts. For I know that sinners counsel men to commit crime craftily. I've given many words from the Most High and from his Son where he says, the enemy is crafty. He will use anyone that's not walking in him. He can even use those that are walking in him. Look at Kepha, Peter. Yahusha rebuked, get thee behind me, ha-Satan. Can you imagine Kepha's face? Like, what? They are not found in every place, nor does every counsel possess a little of them. Woe to those who build iniquity and oppression, and who lay the foundation of fraud, for suddenly shall they be subverted and never obtain peace. Woe to those who build up their houses with crime, and from their very foundations shall their houses be demolished, and by the sword shall they fall. Those too who acquire gold and silver shall justly and suddenly perish. Woe to you who are rich, for in your riches have you trusted, but from your riches you shall be removed, because you have not remembered El Elyon in the days of your prosperity. You have committed blasphemy and iniquity, and are destined to the day of the effusion of blood, to the day of darkness, and to the day of great judgment. This I will declare and point out to you, and he who created you will destroy you. When you fall, he will not show you mercy, but your Creator will rejoice in your destruction. Let those then who shall be righteous among you in those days detest sinners and the wicked. 95. Oh, that my eyes were clouds of water, that I might weep over you and pour forth my tears like rain and rest from the sorrow of my heart. How many of us are feeling like this right now? Who has permitted you to hate and to transgress? Who has permitted you to hate and transgress? Who? Judgment shall overtake you, ye sinners. The righteous shall not fear the wicked. Absolutely not. Because Elohim will again bring them into your power, that you may avenge yourselves of them according to your pleasure. Woe to you who shall be so bound by execrations that you cannot be released from them, the remedy being far removed from you on account of your sins. Woe to you who recompense your neighbor with evil, for you shall be recompensed according to your works. Woe to you, false witnesses, you who aggravate iniquity, for you shall suddenly perish. Woe to you, sinners, for you reject the righteous, for you receive or reject those who do iniquity, and their yoke shall prevail over you. 96. Wait in hope, you righteous, for suddenly shall sinners perish from before you, and you shall exercise dominion over them according to your will. In the day of the sufferings of the sinners, your offspring shall be elevated and lift up like eagles. Your nest shall be more exalted than that of the avest. You shall ascend and enter into the cavities of the earth and into the clefts of the rocks forever like cunies. From the sight of the wicked, who shall groan over you and weep like sirens. You shall not fear those who trouble you, for restoration shall be yours. A splendid light shall shine around you, and the voice of tranquility shall be heard from heaven. But woe to you, you sinners, for your wealth makes you resemble Kodashim. Kodashim means set apart, holy. How many of those are acting like Lucifer, but parading as a false Malachim or angel of light? They're sitting behind your pulpits. They're giving you doctrines of demons. They're pulling you into the pit. That's why they call it a pulpit. This word shall testify against you for the remembrance of crime. Woe to you who feed upon the glory of the grain and drink the strength of the deepest spring, and in your power tread down the humble. Woe to you who drink water of pleasure, for suddenly shall you be recompensed, consumed and withered, because you have forsaken the foundation of life. Woe to you who act iniquitously, fraudulently, and blasphemously. There shall be a remembrance against you for evil. Woe to you, powerful, who with power strike down righteousness, for the day of your destruction shall come. At the very time, many and good days shall be your portion of the righteous at the period of your judgment. 97. The righteous are confident that sinners will be disgraced and perish in the day of iniquity. You shall yourselves be conscious of it, for El Elyon will remember your destruction, and the angels shall rejoice over it. What will you do, sinners? And where will you fly in the day of judgment, when you shall hear the words, the prayer of the righteous? When you shall hear the words of the prayers of the righteous, Revelation, the Malachim, the angels dips his golden censer into the prayers of the righteous, and he throws it out upon the earth. You're going to see why right here. You are not like them who in this respect witness against you. You are associates of sinners. In those days shall the prayers of the righteous come up before Yahweh. When the day of your judgment shall arrive, and every circumstance of your iniquity be revealed before the great and the Holy One, your faces shall be covered with shame, while every deed strengthened by crime shall be rejected. Woe unto you, sinners, who are in the midst of the sea, and on dry land are those against whom an evil record exists. Woe to you who squander silver and gold, not obtained in righteousness, and say, we are rich, possess wealth, and have acquired everything that we have desired. Now then, will we do whatsoever we are disposed to do? For we have amassed silver, our barns are full, and our husbandmen of our families are like overflowing water. Like water shall your falsehood pass away, for your wealth will not be permanent, but shall suddenly ascend from you, because you have obtained it in all iniquitously. To extreme malediction shall you be delivered up. And now I swear to you, crafty as well as simple ones, that you, often contemplating the earth, you men, clothe yourselves more elegantly than married women, and both together more than a woman, and more colored than a girl. Everywhere in the majesty, in magnificence, in authority, and in silver, but gold, purple, honor, and wealth, like water, flow away. Erudition. The definition of erudition is this: the quality of having or showing great knowledge, of learning and scholarship. Your scholarships, your degrees, they don't matter. Your theologian degree does not matter. This is what this is saying right here. You're high and you're proud and you're mighty and you're sitting on your theology, which is your doctrine of demon, dispensation theory, dispensationalism, religious systems. It don't matter the Most High. Therefore, and wisdom are not theirs. Thus shall they perish, together with their riches, with all their glory, and with all their honors, while with disgrace, with slaughter, and extreme penury, shall their ruachoths, their spirits, be thrust into a furnace of fire. I have sworn to you, sinners, that neither mountain nor hill has been or shall be subservient. Subservient is prepared to obey others unquestionably. How many of you right now still go to churchianity, the building? You are the church. Your body is the church of the Most High. So you need to understand that the body is the church. Okay, the ecclesia. Okay. If you're going to a building and they're not teaching you the commandments and they're not teaching you the proper way, they're not teaching you, 1 John, right? Anyone who says that they love the Most High, but they keep his commandments not, they are a liar and the Father is not in them. They're a liar and the Father is not in them. Run. Deuteronomy 13 is your false prophet test. He's seeing if you love him enough to keep his commandments. Neither in this way has crime been sent down to us upon earth, but men of their own heads have invented it, and greatly shall those who give it efficiency be execrated. Barrenness shall not be previously inflicted on women, but on account of the work of her hands shall she die childless. Excuse me. Let me read that again. But on the account of the work of her hands shall she die childless. Women was not created to not give birth. Be fruitful and multiply. We were created to do that. It is our sins that keeps us from these things. And that's the wholehearted truth. And that may bother you, but that is the truth. There's a lot of other factors in there, but that's the biggest one. It says it right here. Can't go against the word. I have sworn to you, sinners, by the Holy and the Great One, that all your evil deeds are disclosed in the heavens, and that none of your oppressive acts are concealed and secret. Think not in your minds, neither say in your hearts that every crime is not manifested and seen. In heaven it is daily written down before El Elyon, henceforward shall it be manifested. And for every act of oppression which you commit shall be daily recorded unto the period of your condemnation. So woe to you, simple ones, for you shall perish in your simplicity. And to the wise you will not listen, and that which is good for you you shall not obtain. Now, therefore, know that you are destined to the day of destruction, nor hope that sinners shall live, but in process of time you shall die. For you are not marked for redemption, but are destined to the day of great judgment, to the day of distress and extreme ignominy. Ignominy. which means public shame and disgrace of your souls. You're going to be publicly shamed. It says that you'll be naked in your sins. You're going to be naked in front of everyone in your sins. You won't be able to speak. You won't even be able to make a plea by this time. You've had all your life to get it right. And Father is not one who doesn't warn you first. He warns you and warns you and warns you, and then finally takes your ruach, your spirit, takes the breath from his breath from your body, because we are made of him. Man in his image, first women made from man. Woe to you, obdurate in heart, who commit crime and feed on blood. Whence do you feed on good things, drink and are satisfied? Is it not because of our Adonai El Elyon has abundantly supplied every good thing upon this earth? To you there shall not be no peace, and woe to you who love the deeds of iniquity. Why do you hope for that which is good? Know that you shall be given up into the hands of the righteous, who shall cut off your necks, slay you, and show you no compassion. Obdurate in heart means stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion of course of action. How many of those do we come across? You're just stubborn. You don't care. You're going to stay. You think you know it all, and that's it. This is what was given to you by your mom and your dad. And you're just going to stay there. Well, ask yourself, what you believe? And I want you to read Genesis to Revelation. Does it match up with the word? I guarantee it won't. Woe to you who reject in the trouble of the righteous, for a grave shall not be dug for you. Woe to you who frustrate the word of the righteous, for to you there shall be no hope of life. Woe to you who write down the word of falsehood and the word of wicked, for their falsehood they record, that they may hear and not forget folly. And to them there shall be no peace, but they shall surely die suddenly. Woe to them who act impiously, who laud and honor the word of falsehood. You have been lost in perdition and have never led a virtuous life. Woe to you who change the words of integrity. They transgress against the eternal Torah law and cause the heads of those who are not sinners to be trodden down upon the earth. And in those days you, O righteous, shall have been deemed worthy of having your prayers rise up in remembrance, and shall have deposited them in testimony before the angels, that they may record the sins of the sinners in the presence of El Elyon. In those days the nations shall be overthrown, but the families of the nations shall rise again in the day of perdition. The families of those will rise again in the days of perdition. In those days they become pregnant. Who become pregnant shall go forth, carry off their children, and forsake them. Their offspring shall slip from them, and while suckling them, they shall forsake them. They shall never return to them, and never instruct their beloved. Again, I swear to you, sinners, that crime has been prepared for the day of blood, which never ceases. They shall worship stones and engraved gold and silver and wooden images. They shall worship in pure ruachotes, devils, and every idol in the temples and the churches. But no help shall be obtained for them. Their hearts shall become impious through their folly, and their eyes be blinded with the fear of their hearts. In their visionary dreams shall they be impious and superstitious, lying in all their actions and worshiping a stone. Altogether shall they perish. But in those days Blessed shall they be to whom the word of wisdom is delivered, who point out and pursue the path of El Elyon, who walk in the way of righteousness, and who act not impiously with the impious. They shall be saved. Woe to you who expand the crime of your neighbor, for in Sheol shall you be slain. Woe to you who lay the foundation of sin and deceit, and who are bitter on the earth, for on it shall you be consumed. Woe to you who build your houses by the labor of others, every part of which is constructed with brick and with stone of crime. I tell you that you shall not obtain peace. Woe to you who despise the extent of the everlasting inheritance of your fathers, while your souls follow after idols, for to you there shall be no tranquility. Woe to them who commit iniquity and give aid to blasphemy, who slay their neighbor until the day of the great judgment. For your glory shall fall, malevolence shall be put into your hearts, and a ruach of his wrath shall stir you up, and every one of you may perish by the sword. Then shall all the righteous and the holy remember your crimes. And in those days, in those days shall fathers be struck down with their children in the presence of each other, and brethren with their brethren shall fall dead, until a river shall flow with their blood. For a man shall not restrain his hand from his children, nor from his children's children. His mercy will be to kill them. Nor shall the sinner restrain his hand from the honored brother. From the dawn of day to the setting sun shall the slaughter continue. The horse shall wade up in his breast, and the chariot shall sink to its axle in the blood of these sinners. In those days the Malachim angels shall descend into places of concealment and gather together in one spot all that have assisted in crime. In that day shall El Elyon rise up to execute the great judgment upon all sinners, and to commit the guardianship of all the righteous and holy to the holy angels, that they may protect them as the apple of an eye, until every evil and every crime be annihilated. Whether or not the righteous sleep securely, wise men shall then truly perceive, and the sons of the earth shall understand every word of the Sefer, knowing that their riches cannot save them in the ruin of their crimes. Woe to you, you sinners, when you shall be afflicted on account of the righteous in the day of the great trouble, and shall be burnt in fire, and be recompensed according to your deeds. Woe to you, perverted in your heart, who are watchful to obtain an accurate knowledge of evil and to discover terrors. No one shall assist you. Woe to you, sinners, for with the words of your mouth and with the work of your hands have you acted impiously, and in the flame of a blazing fire shall you be burnt. And now know that the angels shall inquire into your conduct in heaven of the sun, the moon, and the stars, respecting your sins, for upon earth and you exercise jurisdiction over the righteous. Every cloud shall bear witness against you, the snow, dew, and the rain, for all of them shall be withheld from you, that they may not descend upon you, nor become subservient to your crimes. Now, then, bring gifts of salutation to the rain, that not being withheld it may descend upon you, and to the dew, if it is received from you, gold and silver. But when the frost, snow, and the cold, and every snowy wind and every suffering belong to them, fall upon you, in those days you will be utterly incapable of standing before him. Attentively consider heaven, all you progeny of heaven, and all the works of El Elyon fear him, nor conduct yourselves criminally before him. If he shut up the windows of heaven, restraining the rain and the dew, that it may not descend upon the earth on your account, what will you do? And if he send his wrath upon you and upon all your deeds, you are not they who can supplicate him. You who utter against his righteousness language proud and powerful, to you there shall be no peace. Do you not see the commanders of ships, and how their vessels are tossed about by the waves, torn to pieces by the winds, and exposed to the greatest peril? That they therefore fear, because their whole property is embarked with them on the ocean, and that they forebode evil in their hearts, because it may swallow them up, and they may perish in it. Is it not the whole sea and all its waters, and all of its commotion, the work of him, Alhim, who has sealed up all the excursions and girded it on every side with sand? At his rebuke dried up and alarmed, while all its fish with everything in it die? And will you not, and will you, sinners who are on the earth, fear him? Is not he the maker of heaven and earth, and of all the things which are in them? And who has given erudition and wisdom to all of them who move upon the earth and over the sea? Are not the commanders of ships terrified at the ocean? And shall not sinners be terrified of El Elyon? In those days when he shall cast the calamity of fire upon you, whither will you fly? And where will you be safe? And when he sends forth his word against you, are you not spared and terrified? And the luminaries are agitated with great fear, and all the earth is spared, like it trembles and suffers anxiety. All the angels fulfilled the commands received by them, and are desirous of being concealed from the presence of the great glory, while the children of the earth are alarmed and troubled. But you sinners, are forever accursed. To you there shall be no peace. Fear not, souls of the righteous, but wait with patient hope for the day of your death in righteousness. Grieve not because your souls descend in great trouble, with groaning and lamentation and sorrow, to the receptacle of the dead. In your lifetime, your bodies have not received a recompense in the proportion to your goodness, but in the period of your existence have sinners existed. In the period of excretion and of punishment. And when you die, sinners, say concerning you, as we die, the righteous die. What profit have they in their works? Behold, like us, they expire in sorrow and in darkness. What advantage have they over us? Henceforward are we equal. What will be within their grasp, and what before their eyes forever? For behold, they are dead, and never will they be again perceive the light. I say unto you, sinners, you have been satisfied with meat and drink, with the plunder of men and rapine, with sin, with the acquisition of wealth, and with the sight of your good days. Have you not marked the righteous, how their end is in peace? For no oppression is found in them, even in the day of their death. They perish and are as if they were not, while their souls descend in trouble to the receptacle of the dead. But now I swear to you, you righteous, by the greatness of his splendor and his glory, by his illustrious kingdom, and by his majesty, to you I swear that I comprehend this mystery, that I have read the tablet of heaven, have seen the writing of the holy ones, and have discovered what is written and impressed on it and concerning you, that all goodness, joy, and glory has been prepared for you, and been written down for the ruach of them who die eminently righteous and good. To you it shall be given in return for your troubles, and your portion shall far succeed or exceed the portion of the living. The ruach of you who die in righteous shall exist and rejoice. Their ruach shall exult, and their remembrance shall be before the face of Elohim from generation to generation. For nor shall they now fear disgrace. Woe to you, you sinners, when you die in your sins, and they who are like you say respecting you, blessed are these sinners. They have lived in their whole period, and now they die in happiness and in wealth. Distress and slaughter they knew not while alive. In honor they die. Forever is their life, and time did not judgment overtake them. Has it not been shown to them that To the receptacle of the dead their souls shall be made to descend. Their evil deeds shall become their greatest torment. Into darkness, into the snare, and into the flame, which shall burn to the great judgment, that their ruach, their spirit, enter, and the great judgment shall take effect forever and ever. So woe to you, for you there shall be no peace. Neither can you say to the righteous and to the good who are alive, in the days of your trouble have we been afflicted, and every trouble have we seen, and many evil things have suffered. Our ruachoth have been consumed, lessened, and diminished. We have perished, nor has there been a possibility of help for us in the word of in our deed. We have found none, but have been tormented and destroyed. We have not expected to live day after day. We hoped indeed to have been the head, but we have become a tail. We have been afflicted when we have exerted ourselves. Excuse me. But we have been devoured by sinners, and the wicked, their yoke has been heavy upon us. Those have exercised dominion over us who detest and who goad us. And to those who hate us have we humbled our necks, but they have shown no compassion towards us. We have been desirous of escaping from them, that we may fly away and be at rest. But we have found no place to which we could fly and be secure from them. We have sought an asylum with princes in our distress, and have cried out to those who were devouring us. But our cry has not been regarded, nor have they been disposed to hear our voice, but rather to assist those who plunder and devour us, those who diminish us and hide their oppression, who remove not their yoke from us, but devour, enervate, and slay us, who conceal or slaughter, nor remember that they have lifted up their hands against us. It's a very long book. We're almost done. I made the second half of this already. I don't know if I should keep going, but the second half is already out there. I swear to you, righteous, that in heaven the angels record your goodness before the glory of Elohim. Wait with patient hope, for formerly you have been disgraced with evil and with affliction, but now shall you shine like the luminaries of heaven. You shall be seen, and the gates of heaven shall be opened to you. Your cries have cried for judgment, and it has appeared to you. For an account of all your sufferings shall be required from the princes and from everyone who has assisted your plunders. Wait with patient hope, nor relinquish your confidence, for great joy shall be yours, like that of the angels in heaven. Conduct yourselves as you may, still you shall not be concealed. Still you shall not be concealed in the day of the great judgment. You shall not be found like sinners, and eternal condemnation shall be far from you, so long as the world exists. And now fear not, righteous, when you see sinners flourishing and prosperous in their ways. Be not associated with them, but keep yourselves at a distance from their oppression. For be you associated with the host of heaven. You sinners say, all our transgressions shall not be taken account of and be recorded, but all of your transgressions shall be recorded daily. And be assured by me, the light and the darkness, day and night, behold all your transgression. Be not impious in your thoughts. Lie not. Surrender not the word of uprightness. Lie not against the word of the holy and Elohim. Glorify not your idols. For all of your lying and all of your impiety is not for righteousness, but for the great crime. Now will I point out a mystery. Many sinners shall turn and transgress against the word of uprightness. They shall speak evil things. They shall utter falsehood and create a great creation. globe earth, and compose seraphim writings, many writings, in their own words. But when they shall write all my words correctly in their own language, they shall neither change or diminish them, but shall write them all correctly, all which from the first I have uttered concerning them. Another mystery also I point out: to the righteous and to the wise it shall be given seraphim of joy, of integrity, and of great wisdom. To them shall seraphim be given, in which they shall believe, and in which they shall rejoice, and all the righteous shall be rewarded, who from those shall acquire the knowledge of every upright path. In those days shall Yahweh, in those days, says Yahweh, they shall call in the children of the earth and make them listen to their wisdom. Show them that you are their leaders, and that remuneration shall take place over the whole earth. For I and my son, there's a difference. For I and my son will forever hold communion with them in the paths of uprightness. While they are still alive, shalom, peace shall be yours. Rejoice, my children of integrity, in this truth. And I'm going to stop there because he goes on talking about Noah and what he looked like when he was born. That's on my second video. I thank you all for coming on. I can't still read your comments, and I guess I take it many of you are writing me and via text telling me that that's a good thing. I hope that the evil resided and went away from the comment section. May you go in shalom, shalom. I love you, Ania Habatab, Mishpaka. I love you, family. Ania Habatab Yahweh. I love Yahweh. Seva Oath. I love you all. Go in shalom. Remember, we're all working out our walk with fear and trembling. We're all still learning. None of us know everything. We may be corrected a week from now with something we thought we knew. Let's be humble and meek, because that's the only ones that inherit the earth. And let us not listen to those who speak vile, disgusting things against us. For it is to their death that they speak these things. And it is to my sadness that they don't see that. Let us pray. Let us bring our tefillah, our prayers, to the Most High about these matters. Heavy times are upon us, and it's about to get heavier, and as 144 need to rise, because your light has come. I love you. Shalom, 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 shalom. Till next time, have a beautiful night, a beautiful morning for those who are in India. Shalom, shalom.